Com 600 students, I wanted to give you some instruction on your first writing assignment, the abstract. What is an abstract and why might you need one? Well, an abstract is a concise statement of a larger piece of text. It might be used when you submit an article to a journal for publication, when you submit a proposal for a presentation at a conference, or for some other purposes in research grants and in writing a dissertation. When you submit an article to a journal, the journal reviewers don't just want the article, they want an abstract at the beginning. And that abstract will be published with the article if in fact the article is accepted. When you want to present at a conference, you will write an abstract, usually a shorter one for that type of purpose, the shorter one than what you would submit for a research journal. And that abstract would appear in the conference brochure. So writing an abstract is something that professionals in any academic field will encounter. For this assignment, we're going to write an abstract of 250 words, in addition to including keywords for searches. An example of what I'm referring to here would be the following. This is an abstract written about an article on technical communication. The article was written by two authors, Nicole Amare and Alan Manning. They published the journal article in the IEEE Transactions on Professional Communication, Volume 50, Number 1, in March of 2007. The name of the article was The Language of Visuals, Text plus Graphics equals Visual Rhetoric. The abstract is as follows. Technical communication textbooks tend to address visual rhetoric as two separate units, usually a chapter on document design and then a chapter on graphics. We advocate teaching a unified system of visual rhetoric that encompasses both text and graphics within a single, common visual language system. The first sentence states the problem that they're trying to address. The second sentence states the solution they're trying to propose. Then they continue. Using C.S. Peirce's three-part theory of rhetoric and his 10 categories of sign, we offer an integrated semiotic system, interpreting in one model the effectiveness of graphics, document design, and formatting, all considered as subtypes in this proposed visual rhetoric, organized around three primary communication goals: to decorate, to indicate, and to inform. Well, it isn't until the third sentence that they get into any theories or theoretical frameworks. So you see that they start off in a very accessible way for any reader to understand their article, and then they get into more details about what the article states. Now, the index terms, which I referred to previously as keywords, are document design, graphics, Peirce, semiotics, and visual rhetoric. A person searching for articles on visual rhetoric will find this article. A person searching for articles on Peirce, or searching on the term Peirce, will find this article. The University of California, Davis provides a helpful website on how to write an abstract. It's at the URL on your screen. In that website, they suggest a background of the topic, a statement of the study's objectives, and a summary of the results. Now, typically, a research article will be on a research study. So the study's objectives and the results, and then, of course, the conclusions that they took from the results. The abstract could include some discussion on the relevance of the conclusions and possibly calls for future research. Another helpful website is from the Rensselaer Writing Center. The URL is on your screen. They say that an abstract is a standalone statement that briefly conveys the essential information of a paper, article, document, or book. And in that particular website, the authors provide this type of advice. First, you highlight the objective and the conclusions that are in the paper's introduction and the discussion. You highlight the thesis statement, you highlight or bracket the keywords, and you highlight the results. You're doing a lot of highlighting and bracketing as you review the article. Then you write all this information into a single paragraph. Then you would delete extra words, delete any background information, rephrase certain sentences, and revise the paragraph. Now this particular website's instructions or advice on how to write an abstract. It's a nice approach to take. It seems like a lot of work, but if you think about it, the first 5 bullets are really one step, and the next 4 bullets are really another step. In the first 5 bullets, you're really summarizing or getting your information together and writing a paragraph. And then in the next 4 bullets, you're honing in on that paragraph. Now, in the abstract you write for this class, you're going to write a little bit more than one paragraph. But this is still helpful advice in pursuing this particular writing assignment. The styles of writing when writing an abstract include that you might want to use words and phrases that are from the keywords. If the abstract has certain keywords, then you want to use those keywords in your if the abstract has keywords listed under it, you probably want to use those keywords in the abstract itself. You also write in an objective fashion. You don't evaluate the text in an abstract. You don't. You define new and unique terms in the abstract, and you always spell out acronyms. You never use FDA by itself. You would use Food and Drug Administration before using the acronym or initialism FDA. In this particular assignment, you're going to write 2 or 3 paragraphs for a total of 250 words. You're going to write in complete sentences. I don't want you to write in sentence fragments, and you're going to write in third-person point of view, avoiding the use of the word you or I. You generally will use active voice. Just as a general rule of thumb, use active voice whenever possible. Here's an example of an abstract that is not well written. Let's take a look. It's from the UC Davis website. The black-capped chickadee is a species of North American songbird inhabiting the United States and Canada. Unlike many other songbirds whose songs vary geographically, previous studies done on the chickadee populations from Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New York, Ontario, Missouri, Wisconsin, Alberta, Utah, British Columbia, Washington, and California have shown that males sing a typical 2-tone song, phoebe. The problem here is that the person gets too detailed in the abstract, and certainly too detailed at the beginning of the abstract. Continuing, researchers have also shown that an isolated population from Martha's Vineyard, an island offshore of Massachusetts, demonstrates singing patterns different from the usual 2-note songs. I am studying a second isolated population of chickadees in Alaska. Never write I am studying or I am doing or this type of thing. Don't refer to yourself, and especially in the abstract. Refer to the study. So this is too detailed, and it shifts into first-person point of view. Another example of what not to do is don't use too much jargon. This particular example shows this problem. Within the historiography of North American studies, my research attempts to combine criticisms of them versus us historical paradigms with recent psychological findings on stereotype formation, self-esteem, and implicit self-theories. Only a person who is an expert in the field that this person is writing in can understand this. People from outside the field may not understand this at all. You want to write your abstract so that a person outside the field can find your abstract accessible and understandable. Don't use too much jargon. Again, going back to the example of the abstract that we looked at before, technical communication textbooks tend to address visual rhetoric as 2 separate units, usually a chapter on document design and then a chapter on graphics. You see, the authors explain the problem. Anybody can understand this, even a person outside the field of professional communication or technical communication. We advocate teaching a unified system of visual rhetoric. Okay, so you can understand the approach the authors are taking. You don't have to be an expert on C.S. Peirce or a professor of technical communication to understand generally what Amare and Manning are writing about. You don't want to write in sentence fragments. You want to use complete sentences. To determine and describe the ancient Mayan calendar system. To ascertain how they tracked time for their civilization. Included is da 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 da. These are not complete sentences. These are infinitive phrases. You want to write in complete sentences. You want to give the reader sufficient context. Look at this example. We have used infrared reflectance to study the effects of melt recrystallization on the structure of thin polymer films. We hypothesized that slowly melting and then re-solidifying the thin polymer films will lead to higher levels of crystallinity and orientational order in very thin polymer films. There's no context here. The person doesn't understand why this would be relevant. This is a very short abstract, by the way, but I'm showing this to you for the purpose of showing you the need for context. Common